There's lots of videos on YouTube for dealing with broken bolts. There's lots of videos on YouTube for dealing with broken bolts. If you have a damaged bolt head, you can use a tool like this. It bites down on the bolt head. It's got splines inside, and twists it off. If you've got a stuck bolt, you can use one of these. It's called a grabit. Makes a small hole in the head of the bolt, or whatever part's exposed, and then this twists down into the head and pulls the bolt body out. But what if you've stripped the threads off the bolt? And that's usually a pretty dumb thing to do. So the first thing you need is an excuse. Something like, I was working from the back side of the bolts and I got counterclockwise and clockwise confused, or the bolt was above my head and lefty-loosey, righty-tighty didn't work. The thing is, once that happens, part of the thread of the bolt can be destroyed and the rest of it can still be intact. And if that part's above the nut, then it holds the bolt in place. So not only does the bolt have no drive for you to twist it out of the nut, it actually has something holding it in. So at that point, there's really only two choices. You can blowtorch it, heat up the area and pull out the bolt with a pair of pliers, or you can drill it out. If the bolt's holding in a plastic airbox or an engine cover or something like that, then you really don't have the option of using the blowtorch, unless you're willing to melt the cover or the airbox. So that only leaves drilling. If the bolt's under the car and the car's on jack stands, then there's a real problem trying to get to the bolt to drill it out. There's a problem drilling straight into the head of the bolt. So these things sort of make their reappearance. Grabits are self-centering, more or less. So you can put this in a drill and drill into the head of the bolt and get a nice centered hole. Then use that hole to run successively larger drill bits up into the bolt until you've removed enough of the bolt body so that you can reverse the drill and hopefully pull the bolt out. One problem with doing this is getting enough leverage to get the drill to work its way up into the bolt. What you can do is take a tool, say a garden tool like this, put it underneath your drill, and then you can lever the drill up into the bolt so that you won't have to be underneath the car with limited room trying to work a drill into a bolt that you can't see. If this works, the bit is likely to get stuck, and you'll reverse it and pull the bolt out. Once that happens, you may have damaged the threads on the inside of the nut, but it's pretty much already a large enough disaster so that retapping the nut is easier than anything else you might do. And that's how you would deal with stripped threads on a bolt.